All right. So, welcome everyone. Welcome everyone to Creating Your Life in 2020. My name's Michelle Edhouse, and today is a grand and glorious adventure for me anyway. And what I'd love to invite you to in this call is the infinite possibilities of what 2020 can be for you, and give you some tools and processes and techniques and stuff that I've been using over the last year, and before that as well, but really deliberately over the last year, what I've been using to create my life, my living, my businesses, my relationships, my money flows, all of the elements of my life. I've been creating greater and greater and greater every day, and that's the tools and processes that I would like to share with you over the next hour. Hey Laurie, welcome. Hey Billie Jean. Hey Sarah. Hey Kelly. Hey Leslie and Helen and Marlene and Suze and Kate. All of you, welcome, and thank you so much for joining me. And I know that we have a lot of people registered for this call all over the world, everywhere from New Zealand, of course. Hi! But also the USA, UK, Canada, Japan, South Africa, Venezuela, Australia, India, Slovenia, Bosnia and Herzegovina. Like, this is a global call, and what I would love for you to do is to really look at what are you creating for you and the planet and the future. So what I'd love you to do first off is just to sit back in your chair, relax, take a deep breath, and expand out so that you're including the whole of your body in your awareness, the whole of the room in your awareness. Be with every molecule of the whole room, every molecule of the entire building you're in. Just be with them. Lower any barriers, any judgments, any projections, expectations, rejections, separations, and just keep expanding out throughout the entire town, the entire country. Not just sideways, but out the front, out the back, upwards, downwards, including every molecule. Keep expanding throughout the entire planet and the entire galaxy, the entire universe. And now take it out throughout all time, all space, all realities, all dimensions, all anything anyone's ever defined, and anything anyone's not defined. What else is out there? Lowering your barriers and expanding out. Keep expanding until you be with every molecule in the infinite verse. And now would you drop all your barriers and be willing to be you? Whatever that is, without any definition, without even needing to cognitize what that is. And just be with every molecule. And from that space, what would you like your life and living to be like? Including all those molecules, all those beings, the beings of your friends, your family, your business, your workplace, the beings with and without bodies, the being of the planet, the entities throughout all time and space. What is it you desire? And let's not put words to that. Just get that energy. Perceive what that is for you. And any judgments or conclusions that come up when you're doing this exercise, would you be willing to destroy and uncreate those? Right, wrong, good, bad, podpoc, all 9 boys, shorts and beyonds. That, my dear friends, is the weird, wacky and wonderful clearing statement of Access Consciousness. And Access Consciousness is where I'm getting basically all of these tools from. I am a certified Access Consciousness facilitator, and with these tools, I've completely transformed my life, my living, and my future. And I love them so much. They work and they're easy. So what if you were willing to allow all of life to come to you with ease and joy and glory? What else is possible? So with that energy that we just became aware of, would you be willing to have that? Have that as an energy that you can go to anytime anything is feeling crappy in your world. And doing that exercise doesn't need to take as long as what I just did. It can be as quick as breathe out, lower your barriers, expand out to the outermost limits, expand out to the infinite verse, and get a sense of the reality you desire. And in that really, really, really quick moment, you get that sense. Now, whatever that is for you, it'll be different for everyone. I know for me, whenever I do that exercise, I literally just relax. All the tension goes out of anything, all the fight goes out, and my clarity and awareness exponentializes. Anything I've been blocking or having awareness about, anywhere I'm fighting or resisting or any of that just disappears, and I get to choose what will work for me. So that is the first tool of many that I'm going to be sharing. And well, how many tools have I just shared? Expand out, get a sense of your reality that you desire. That is tool 1. The clearing statement. If you haven't heard that before, if you're brand new to Access Consciousness, welcome. And what I would love to invite you to is go and have a look at theclearingstatement.com. Dr. Dane here does an amazing job of explaining what the clearing statement is, how it works, and all that stuff. So jump on over to there. I'll put a link to that in the follow-up email, or if you're watching this afterwards, there'll be a link in the description below. So that exercise is also the beginning of the energy pulls that I do every morning. And energy pulls are where you connect with what you desire, which is what we just did. And then we pull energy, and you can do this now if you like. Pull energy from all the beings, the bodies, and the molecules throughout that infinite verse that can contribute now, in the past, or in the future to the actualization of what you're asking for. Now, you may be asking for a pay rise, you may be asking for a yummy relationship, great sex, whatever it is for you. a new car, more ease with dealing with your in-laws, who knows? So whatever it is, and that bigger energy that we're also tapped into, pull energy through all those beings, those bodies, those molecules throughout the infinite verse that can contribute to the actualization of that. Pour more and more and more, and just let it be a flood flowing from behind them, through you, and out the other side. Just pull more and more and expand it, widen it, deepen it, increase the flow more and more and more and more and more and more. And then allow little trickles to go back to them. Little trickles that say, hey, this is how you can contribute. This is where, when. And what if you didn't need to know any of that information? You didn't even need to know who they were that was contributing. And everywhere you're unwilling to receive from random strangers from somewhere else in the universe, will you destroy and uncreate that, please? Right, wrong, good, bad, pod, poc, all 9 boys, shorts and beyonds. Take another deep breath in and out. And as you're pulling that energy in through them, through you, and out the other side, and then trickling back, ask those energy flows to equalize once they've contributed. And what else is possible? What else can you choose? So with those 2 exercises every morning, I've created a massive change in my life. And I know that the people that have joined me on the Energy Pool series in the last 18 months have also chosen greater and had much more ease, joy, and glory in their lives. So don't use those 2 tools. And so what else have we got? So if you've got questions, by the way, guys, I'm so super happy to answer any questions that you have. And I see that some of you are, oh, thank you, Sarah, for posting that link. So if you have any questions, please raise your hand. Let me know that you've got a question. I'm super happy. So what else? What other tools can we use to create our reality? So one of the things, I was talking to a client recently, and she was saying, I really just don't know what my reality is, what it is I actually desire. So one of the tools I would love to share with you is to ask questions. So in her case, it would be, what do I desire? It's as simple as that, guys. What do I desire? Now, one tool that Gary Douglas, the founder of Access Consciousness, has amazing clarity around words and their meanings. And what he's made us aware of is that the word want actually means to lack. So if you are actually desiring to ask for something greater, ask for that. Don't say I want, because you're actually saying I lack. So if you're saying I want more money, you're just saying to the universe, God, whoever it is you talk to, I lack more money. And they're like, yep, you do. Awesome, tick. Don't need to do anything over there. So what if you were to say, what would it take for me to have more money? What would it take for me to have clarity with this? What would it take for me to have ease with this? In her case, what would it take for me to really get a sense of what I desire? and receive it. Now, getting a sense of it and receiving it, do you get that there is a real difference in those two energies? Getting a sense of what you desire and actually receiving it. Getting a sense of it is a perception. It's a floating, just fleets through. And that's just, oh yeah, that. I have that. And by saying, yeah, I'll have more of that, you're actually asking for more of it to show up. So you're actually saying, hey, bring it on. I'll have more of that. That's an energy I really enjoy. And also being aware of when you're asking for an energy, it can show up in ways that you totally did not imagine. If you're asking for the energy of snuggly and cuddly, and really you're sort of thinking from a girl's perspective, snuggle into his hairy chest and you're in a furnishing shop and there's this really yummy pillow and it has the same energy. Would you be willing to acknowledge when what you ask for shows up, even if it doesn't come out quite the way you thought it would? And also, when you're asking, and acknowledge when it shows up. Oh, look, that's that energy I was looking for. And can I have it attached to a person, please? And then you're snuggling your niece or nephew, and there's that snuggle, and you've got your head on their head, and it's hairy, and oh look, this matches it too. And can we also have attached to this some sexuality, some sexualness, some copulation, and you start to get more and more clarity as you ask and receive, and you actually receive it, acknowledge that you've received it, you can get more and more clarity of, oh, and there's an additional bit here. But also, one of the things that Gary Douglas talks about is making sure you're really clear of what you don't want as well. He talks about the story of having a list of things that he wanted in a woman and then he met his second wife, and she ticked every single one of those boxes. She also ticked every single one of his don't want list that he hadn't written. So once he recognized that, he's like, okay, cool. She ticks all my yes boxes, but I forgot to write the no boxes. So what else can you choose? What else can you write? What else can you request as your reality? So what is the 2020 you desire? What is the life and living you desire? And are you willing to create future? So Vera's just written in the comments, hi, I'm in the questions how to give more classes around the planet and to whom I can contribute to expand consciousness. Any contribution from you to all of this? Yeah, my favorite question with regards to expanding classes is to actually be willing to contribute to all classes around the world. Simone Milasas talks about what energy, space, and consciousness can my body and I be to contribute to the expansion of all consciousness classes on planet Earth, now and in the future. Now, if you're actually teaching Access Consciousness, Vera, you can add that as well. So, what have you been unwilling to be? That if you're willing to be it, would allow your classes to expand around the planet. Everything that doesn't allow that, will you destroy and uncreate it, please? Right, wrong, good, bad, pod, poc, all known boys, shorts and beyonds. What have you been unwilling to perceive? That if you were willing to perceive it, would allow, and you guys, I'm saying your classes for Vera because she's asked the question, but you can put whatever is going on in your world, whatever you're asking for. Maybe it's more health, maybe it's more money, maybe it's better relationships, whatever you're asking for, substitute that in where I'm saying classes. So what have you been unwilling to perceive that if you were willing to perceive it would allow your classes to expand around the planet? Everything that doesn't allow that, we destroy and uncreate it, please. Right, wrong, good, bad, pod, poc, all nine, boys, shorts and beyonds. What energy, space and consciousness can you and your body be to receive what you've been unwilling to receive? That by being willing to receive it would allow your classes to expand. You know, being willing to be conscious includes perceiving, knowing, being, and receiving everything with no judgment. And so when you're unwilling to be, know, perceive, or receive anything, it will limit what you can create and how much you can actualize using consciousness. So, Vera, I would highly recommend using the energy pools. Doing that, lower your barriers, expand out, connect with what you're looking to create. And, I did that from a space of your overall energy of your life and living that you desire to create. And what you can do if if you've got something specific, like you're building a business, you're building a relationship, you're building something, you're creating something specific, you can do that individually for different things. Like I do it for my entire life and living that I desire, and I do it for each class that I'm creating. I do it for my art YouTube channel called Mickey Art. I do it for my website creation business. I do it for my concrete foundations and floors business that I run with my husband. I do it for our property development company. I do it for my relationship with my husband, with my kids, with my family. And not everyone every day, ask, what does my reality require of me today? What area of my life and living requires my attention? Which area of my life would like an energy pool today? And just by asking about the awareness of what it is you are creating and having all of these areas in your life and living and being willing to contribute and receive from them all is such a huge contribution and such an invitation to a greater reality that, you know what, if you just did energy pools and nothing else, your life would change. So what have you been unwilling to be, do, have, create, or generate that if you're willing to be, do, have, create, or generate would change your life and create the reality you desire? Everything that doesn't allow that and everything that is, will you destroy and uncreate all that, please? Right, wrong, good, bad, pod, poc, all nine, boys, shorts and beyonds. So Vera, let me know if you've got any further questions on that, but there's a whole heap of tools in that. So Sarah says, what tools can you be when you are struggling with someone who has an upset with you?
You just answered that.
I just answered.
You really did with the energy pool, and then when you said, what are you not unwilling to perceive, know, be, and receive. And that just expanded.
No.
And it was expanding anyhow, but that was so, yeah, definitely.
Oh,
But I am interested in, can we talk about what is interesting point of view? Because that is amazing tool.
it is an amazing tool. And, interesting point of view is, um, have you ever had somebody walk into a room and look at you and say, the weather's horrible? And you're like, huh. And you really have no point of view about what they have just said. It's like, you don't think the weather's horrible. You don't think it's great either. Like, you don't really have any point of view. And so, that's just interesting point of view. They have an interesting point of view, and it's just a point of view. So what the tool of interesting point of view is inviting you to be that with every point of view you have and every point of view you come across in daily life. So if somebody, somebody is having a upset with you, like Sarah asked, anything that they accuse you of, let's say, interesting point of view, they have that point of view. Interesting point of view, I have the point of view that they're wrong or that I'm resisting that point of view. Interesting point of view, that. Interesting point of view. 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 And as you be more and more and more of that space where everything is just an interesting point of view, the whole world becomes a lot easier. And as you recognize more and more how much of everything that exists is just a point of view, whether it's, we were watching the news the other day and it was talking about the fires in New South Wales. And okay, just while we're all here, can we all contribute whatever we can contribute to everyone and everything having ease with those fires? On 3, ready? Let's just throw a bolt of energy of creation on 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. And notice how I didn't ask for the fires to stop. I didn't ask for the rain to come. I just asked for everyone and everything to have ease. And that may be them having the clarity to get out before their house burns down. It may be having the insurance pay out with no problems at all. It may be the rain comes and puts all the fires out. Like, what if we had no point of view? And what if all the points of view that we have about the fires, the heat wave, the no rain were just interesting points of view? Because when you're willing to be, do, have, create, and generate from a space of interesting point of view, you can have awareness of every possibility. And because as soon as you decide on that is going to be the answer, the rain coming will fix it, can anything else change it? Can anything else create ease? So if you were willing to use that interesting point of view tool, and literally all the tool is interesting point of view, I have that point of view. And recognizing that you have a point of view and being that space of, it's just a point of view. So what energy, space, and consciousness can you and your body be to be interesting point of view now and in the future? with total ease. Everything that doesn't allow that, we destroy and uncreate it all. Right, wrong, good, bad, pod, poc, all 9 boys, shorts, and beyonds. Cool. So, Maureen is saying, looking forward to the 28 days of these calls. Relationships for me is the area of my life I'm willing to receive from. So, Maureen, by that, do you mean you are willing to receive from it, or you're choosing to receive more in 2020? You can unmute if you like and come on and talk about that if that's something that you'd like to.
All of the above.
All of
Choose everything.
Choose.
Because I created all the, for 2020. It's an area that I certainly creating for my life and my children's. Yeah.
Awesome.
Be amazing.
So, one of the things that creates more and more and more is actually where you're at in any 10 seconds. So if you think about navigation and, navigating by the stars, okay? If you think you are in New Zealand, then the way you navigate your boat to get to the UK is different than if you're off Cape Cod, So being willing to know where you're at in this 10 seconds and choosing to create different, more, greater, whatever that is really important. So acknowledging where you're at. If it's money that you're looking at creating, sit down and write a list of everything you owe, all the expenses that you have. Get really clear about what your income flows are, what your outgoings are, include in all of that, things like haircuts and all of those stuff that, some of them are only annual, like, paying for your URL for your website, that's once a year or once every 2 years. It's still an expense and you need to include that. But know where you're at. And with relationships, be honest with yourself. Where am I at? And that's why I asked the question of Maureen, is that you have ease or you're asking for ease, and you are receiving or you're asking to receive. Have a look at, what am I actually receiving right now? Okay, I'm receiving crap in relationship, or I'm receiving a small amount. I'm only receiving, oh, here comes a plane. Sorry about any plane noise that you can hear. I'm receiving a small amount. I'm receiving a lot. I'm receiving a lot, but most of it's crap. What is it for you? What are you actually receiving? And when you get clarity on what you're actually receiving, like with sailing your ship, once you get clarity of where you're at right now, you can plan and create and choose and move forward. But if you think you are already at this level of receiving and you're actually at this level of receiving, there's a whole chunk of receiving here that you're not choosing to have. It's like saying, I'm good at maths, but you haven't actually learned how to do subtraction. Does that make sense? There's a huge amount of mathematical stuff that requires you to know how to do some subtraction. And if you think you're here and you're actually here, then that's a good thing to know. And it's not about making you wrong about where you're at or what you've been willing to receive in the past or choose in the past. It's getting clarity and awareness and choosing again, creating greater. So what have you been refusing to know regarding your levels of receiving that you can now know? And everything that doesn't allow you to now know it, and choose greater, where you destroy and uncreate that. Right, wrong, good, bad, pop, pop, all nine bullshits and beyonds. I adore you, Maureen. I have so enjoyed watching you grow over the last few years. The changes you've chosen and what you've been creating is just yummy. How does it get even better than that? And there's another tool. Dun, 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 la, 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 la. As I said, asking questions is okay. So asking questions opens possibilities. It's not about finding an answer, coming to a conclusion. It's about opening up the possibilities. If you were to, say you're in a hallway with one door, and you're like, all right, I'm going to open that door, and that'll be the answer. You're going to open that door, and there will be a room, and it will have whatever it has in it. If you're like, oh, I wonder what's on the other side of here. I wonder what else is possible. Hint, other question, what else is possible? And you open that door, and there's a whole hallway of other possibilities. There's some of what you're asking for in the hallway already, and there's more doorways that you can open and find more and more and more and more. I remember when I first started learning the Access Consciousness tools, Gary Douglas, actually it's in the book, Money Isn't the Problem You Are, and fantastic book. I'll put a link to that in the email. In that book, there is a story where Gary was teaching how does it get better than this? What else is possible in a class? And this girl walked out the class, and as she walked out, she looked down, and there was a dime or a 1 cent or something, a little coin on the ground, and she picked it up and went, how does it get better than this? What else is possible? Because she just learnt the tool, right? So she walks out of the building, and she turned to go down to the subway because that's all she could afford. That was the transportation that she could afford in that 10 seconds. And she looks down on the ground, and there's a $10 note. And she's like, how's it get any better than this? What else is possible? And so because she now had the $10 note, she takes a taxi home, gets dropped off at the front of her house rather than coming in the back gate, which is how she would have come if she'd been using the train. And there in the gutter is a diamond bracelet. What do you think she said? No, she didn't. She went, it can't get any better than this. And guess what that does? That stops the energy. That's like opening that last door and it just being an empty room. But keeping asking, how does it get better than this? What else is possible? And being willing to receive whatever shows up is creating more as your life and living, creating greater. How does it get any better than this for when crap happens and when good stuff happens? If she stood in a pile of dog poo and gone, how does it get better than this? Then she probably still would have continued to create greater. And instead of going, oh, look, this always happens to me. I always stand in dog poo. In every area of my life, I stand in shit. Guess what you're creating when you say stuff like that? So by asking, how does it get any better than this? What else is possible? And keep asking, keep creating greater. So, what else is possible, Maureen? How does it get better? All right. So Sarah's popped a whole heap of questions and things that she's been playing with.
And what you've been talking about. So I've just been putting it in. So everything you've been talking about, I've been putting in different links that you've been talking about.
Fantastic. Thanks, Sarah. So Vera says, what is that when you invite somebody for more and you perceive you can influence and change in that person's life, and that person says, in this case, a man, it is too much for me, just give me space and let's create business, and then you perceive the person is pulling from you. Pod poc. Okay, so what you're aware of and what they're willing to choose can be eons apart. Would you be willing to acknowledge that you have the capacity to perceive far greater than what others are willing to? And everything that doesn't allow that, we destroy and uncreate it. Right, wrong, good, bad, pod, poc, all nine boys, shorts, and beyonds. So, truth, Vera, do you have an awareness of future far greater than most people? Yeah. So, when you're willing to acknowledge how much you're aware of, you can then go, wow, cool. There's so much possible here. How does it get better than this? And what is this person ready to receive? What can this person actually choose? What are they willing to have as their reality? And then you can speak to that. You can be the invitation to them choosing greater and more without taking them beyond what they're willing to know. And as you choose to expand with them, inviting them, still being you, still creating massive, way far outside anything they can even be aware of, you're inviting them, teasing them to create in greater. You're when you are willing to talk to what they can receive, they will choose greater. When you're willing to ask them questions that opens up their awareness. I mean, one of the things that I'm going to put quotes on this, struggled with for a long time is needing to be acknowledged for the change that I create, for the invitation I create, for the ideas I have. You know, have you ever come across somebody who you say, hey, I've had this cool idea, blah, 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 how about we do that? And they go, no. And then 2 weeks later, they turn up and go, guess what? I woke up with this amazing idea. And then they just regurgitate everything you said 2 weeks ago. Are you the type of person like I used to be that put your hands on your hips? I suggested that 2 weeks ago. Why didn't you? Well, what's that creating? That's creating them resisting and reacting and going, no, it's my idea. You didn't say that. Or now I'm willing to go, hey, Pete, that's a brilliant idea. How awesome that you're willing to have that idea. How can we implement that? Do you have any ideas on what we can choose and create and blah, 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 blah. By being willing just to plant a seed, walk away, and allow them to take the credit for it growing instead of you having to take the credit. So what have you been unwilling to be? If you're willing to be it, would allow the reality you desire to show up. Everything that doesn't allow that, we destroy and uncreate it, please. Right, wrong, good, bad, pod, poc, all nine boys, shorts, and beyonds. And by being willing to ask questions inside your own head of how much can they receive? What would create the greatest to say here? You know, that is a question that I have asked myself so many hundreds of times that I just be it now. I just have that question as my reality. What can this person receive? And here comes another plane. It's a beautiful morning today here in Rotorua. I live 2 kilometres from the airport, right in the flight path, so apologies for plane noises, guys. So by being willing to ask what can they receive, and being willing to actually be that without shrinking you to be that, just be it for them and still being you, it will allow you to create the greater reality you know is possible while tickling all these people into greater possibilities and allowing them to choose what works for them. So are you willing to allow others to choose what works for them? Are you willing to be you and change the world, as Dr. Dane here says in his book, Being You, Changing the World? Another great book, hint, tip, there we go. So I hope that has contributed there, Vera. That's a super cool question. And Maureen says, who's choosing the series for 28 days? I don't know if everyone knows about that series, actually, Maureen. So starting tomorrow, guys, I have a series called Creating Your Life, Creating the Life You Desire. And it is a 28-day series, and it's every day at 7:30 a.m. you will be receiving an energy pull, and it will be different every day. Sometimes it will be live on a Zoom like this, and you guys can join me live. Sometimes it'll be pre-recorded, depending. Like I'm teaching a foundation class down in Wellington, 17th to the 20th of January, and so I'm going to be traveling and stuff like that. So some days it will be pre-recorded, and other days it will be live. And also every day there will be a video of a tool or a question or a process that I get will be a contribution to expanding what you're creating in 2020. So, and then once a week, 4 times over that 28 days, we'll be doing a 1 hour let's come together, ask all your questions. You guys can put questions into the Facebook group that if you can't make it on that call. And just like with Vera's been asking these questions, and Maureen and Sarah, you can ask your questions about what's limiting you, what you're not willing to perceive, whatever is going on for you. And I can facilitate you, give you tools, tips, questions, clearings that can contribute to you creating greater. And this is the thing, guys. This isn't about me making your life better. This is about me being that invitation that we just talked about with Vera. I am aware of the magic that you be, of the phenomenons you can create as your reality. And I would love to be the invitation and contribute to creating that with you, giving you the tools, clearing away the crap, asking you questions that open those doors of possibility. So, what contribution can I be to you creating the life you desire in 2020? So if you could have anything as your reality in 2020, what would it be? If you could have anything as your reality ever, what would it be? Are you willing to create your future, not just in 2020? Like so often we look at creating our reality. Oh, what am I doing today? What am I making? How much money do I need to make this week? What sort of relationship am I choosing? What would it take for me to have a boyfriend or a girlfriend or whatever it is? And if you're willing to create the future you desire, now and in the future, you can start to open up possibilities that may not come to fruition even this lifetime. If you were asking to have peace on earth, yeah, the good old fashioned Miss Universe, what do you got? Peace on earth. I mean, we've all just gone through the holidays. Peace on earth, goodwill to men, all those Christmas carols. But if that is actually what you desire as your reality, would you be willing to do, have, create, and generate now what will contribute to that actualizing in the future? And that may be you would love to have $1 million in your bank account. About the only way that you can do one thing and it show up is buy a lottery ticket. And how well has that worked for you so far? Not saying it wouldn't work. Just what else can you do, have, create, and generate today that puts in place those things? Somebody said to me recently, wow, how did you end up with 47,000 subscribers on your YouTube channel? And I was like, I started by posting a video. I did steps every day. I asked the YouTube channel, where would you like me to post you? What would you like me to do? What sort of painting would you like me to post? What would you like the thumbnail on the video to be? Little steps every day, but I was creating a future. I had asked, what would it take to create a YouTube channel with a lot of people on it? And it started out that lot of people was 1,000 subscribers. To me, that was huge in my head. But then I also got the energy of all those YouTube channels that I had been watching the kids watch, where they had millions of subscribers. And some of those channels are full of utter rot. And they have millions of subscribers. So my question then became, what can I be or do today to create millions of subscribers now and in the future? And sometimes it was a like last February, I had a painting go viral, right? There's over 750,000 views on that one video. And it made my channel go boom. And it was all sorts of things coming and creating together. But it was lots of little steps that created that. And it appeared as if by magic. I woke up the next morning and there was 2,500 views when normally there'd be about 600 or 700. And I was like, wow, how's it get even better than that? What else is possible? What would it take for that to grow? I didn't go, wow, that's impossible. How did that happen? Oh my God, because that would shut that down. I asked, how does it get better than this? What else is possible? What would it take for that to grow? Wow. And as it grew, wow, what would it take for it to hit 100,000 views? Oh, wow, that's so cool. It hit 100,000 views. What's next? What else is possible? And you see how that asking, receiving became this yummy contribution to my channel and to me and to the world. Those videos go out into the world and I have all these comments on there saying, you're my daily dose of happy. I have people all around the world that have never heard of the questions, how does it get any better than this and what else is possible, now saying it, choosing it, creating greater with it. And I have fun making those videos. So what have you been unwilling to choose that if you're willing to choose it would create the life and living you desire? That channel stems from me asking a question over and over again of what would be fun for me? Because I recognize I was living a life of quiet desperation. I wasn't enjoying life and living. I was doing the things I had to do to get by. And I was like, stop, this isn't working for me anymore. What would be fun for me? And that all started to open up after I wrote my book, Unlocking Unhappy. That book has changed so much for me, acknowledging where I'm at, choosing greater, being more, and being willing to be seen. So what are you unwilling to be, do, have, create, or generate that if you're willing to be, do, have, create, generate, create a greater future for you now and in the future? Everything doesn't allow that. Everything that brings up, everything that keeps you limited by any of that, will you destroy and uncreate it all, please? Right, wrong, good, bad, pod, poc, all nine, boy shorts, and beyonds. So, yeah, if you are interested in coming to play with me on the 28 days, there will be a link in the description, or you can just go to my website, accessu.co.nz, and there's a upcoming classes thingy rotating round. So, yay. First time you've connected with my energy, Vera. Cool. And it's been such an incredible contribution. Thank you. And what else is possible? How can you choose more for you, whatever that is? You know, it may be coming on the 28-day series. It may be taking all the stuff that we've talked about today and creating greater. So there's a couple of other things that I just wanted to cover in before we close up. We've got like 3 minutes left of this hour, and I'm probably going to go over, so I apologize. And I've got a list of things I wanted to talk about, and I'm not going to get through it all. But anytime you're looking at creating your reality, one of the big tools that we teach in Access Consciousness is the tool of light and heavy. What's light is right for you, and what's heavy is a lie for you. And, you know, some people perceive light and heavy physically as a, oh, yuck, bleh, and, the angels are singing. Some people are, you know, literally light is what you can actually, it opens your eyes, it brings more light into your world, and heavy is like, I can't really see, like, whatever it is for you, play with that. And I have videos on light and heavy on my YouTube channel, so check those out. There is a gazillion of them, no, not quite a gazillion, there's over 300 videos on my Access UTV YouTube channel. So go have a play around, see what you can find. But light and heavy is, I will put a link to the video on that in the follow-up email or in the description below if you're watching this after. So what action can you be or do today to create your future? What energy can you be today to create your future? You know, remembering that, you know, like I said with my YouTube channel, how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. You're creating your future with every choice that you make. And what if none of those choices were right and none of them were wrong? They were just a choice, and choice creates awareness. So you choose to date this person and, oh, wow, that is so not what I'm looking to have as my reality. Cool, choice created awareness. You now have more awareness of what you don't desire to have and more awareness of what you do desire to have. Cool. Let's not make that choice to be in relationship with that person wrong, or that choice to invest in that stock that totally collapsed wrong. What if you go, wow, what was I aware of there? I actually knew what that would create. And, you know, asking the question, what will this create? If I choose this, what will my life be like in 5 years? If I don't choose this, what will my life be like in 5 years? And again, looking at the the energy of those two. Which of those two is the energy that you desire? Sometimes you have to go further out. What will the universe be like in 500 years if I choose this? What will the universe be like in 500 years if I don't choose this? Which of those two energies is what you're looking to create or closer to? So what if all of life can come to you with ease and joy and glory? That is the mantra of Access. All of life comes to us with ease and joy and glory. All of life comes to me with ease and joy and glory. All of life comes to us with ease and joy and glory. And if you were to say that 10 times in the morning and 10 times in the night, and that's the only tool you use out of this entire hour, guess what? It will start to show up as your reality. All of life will start to come to you with more ease, more joy, and more glory. So now I'm not saying easy, I'm saying ease. When things show up and you're like, interesting that stock crashed. Wow, instead of, oh no, my life is at an end, stock crashed. That's having more ease with something. So would you be willing to acknowledge where you do have ease and ask for more of it? Would you be willing to acknowledge where you do have joy and ask for more of that? And sometimes, some of us receive joy from things that society says you shouldn't receive joy from. And if you make yourself wrong for that, you cut off that energy of joy. To me, in my body, eating chili is not joyful. But I know people that eat chili for the fun of it because it's a joy. Their bodies get turned on and excited and they're like, woohoo! And I'm sitting there going, not what I'm choosing. But interesting point of view, I have the point of view that it wouldn't be fun for me. If I'm sitting in that conclusion of chili's not fun for me, guess what? It can't be fun for me, no matter what I choose. So, the other thing that I would love to invite you to do, and I'd say most of you know about it, how many of you actually do it on a regular basis is a totally different story, but get your bars run. Those of you that are new to Access Consciousness and have no idea what I'm talking about, there's a hands-on head process where somebody touches 32 different points on your head and it just defrags your brain. You know how when your computer gets all full and gunky and you've put lots of files into the trash bin but never emptied the trash? That's what your brain is like. That's what your body is like. And by having these 32 different points touched on your head, it's like emptying the trash. It makes more space, more ease. Your computer slows down when the trash is full. So do you. I have some of the most creative days, the most expansive days, the most joyful days the first few days after having my bars run. So you wouldn't have your bars run on a regular basis, so that's an ongoing creation space. And you'd allow yourself to get into before you get your bars run. For what reason? So I invite you to get your bars run at least once a week. And notice for you, how quickly do you start to drop off from having your bars run? Oh, after 4 days, I'm starting to drop off again. Cool. I'm changing it up. I'm going to choose more about having my bars run, more ease with having my bars run, you know, anything that you are choosing to be that's not working for you, go get your bars run. Find yourself learn the bars. Find yourself a swap buddy. Find yourself 10 swap buddies. So when this one only wants it done once a month, and so does this one, they all add up to you getting your bars run every 4 days, which is what works for you, whatever that is for you. So if you want to know more about the bars, go to my website, accessu.co.nz/bars, and there's links on there to find classes. There is links to connect with people all over the world. Like, you know, as I say, we've got people on this series from all over the world, and I can't run everyone's bars, but there are thousands of access facilitators out there who are trained to teach the bars, and also I'm not sure about hundreds of thousands, but definitely tens of thousands of people out there who have learnt the bars, and you can tap into, meet them, get your bars run, learn about having it, and swap with people. So, excuse me, more joy and expansion of me is what I'm demanding. Yay! Scheduling creations into the diary. Great idea. And what works for you with regards to creating, guys? Some people, having a to-do list just stresses them out. Having appointments in the diary freaks them out. Other people, if it's in the diary, it gets done. If it's on the to-do list, it gets done. And, you know, I've heard Gary Douglas say, don't write to-do lists. And that's because so often when people write a to-do list and they get to the end of the day and they haven't done everything, they start making themselves wrong. What if, yes, there's a list of things that need to be done, and you were to ask the list, what would like to be done today? What should I do next? And you go to the list, and what will create greater for me to do next? I do this, like having them written out really clears some space in my head. And I go to that list, and I sometimes I do have a point of view about what I have to get done today. And oftentimes when I go to the list and go, okay, who's next? Something else will pop up other than what I've already decided I should be doing. And there's times when that thing that pops up is only a short period of time and I've finished it, when I get a phone call and I have to take my father-in-law to hospital because he's just fallen over, which only happened once. Let's not do that again. Not creating that. But, you know, or the kids need picking up from somewhere. And if I'd chosen the big thing, I'd have been in the middle of it and had to stop and blah, blah, blah. So be willing to follow your awareness. And what if you never made yourself wrong again? What would life be like if you were not wrong? Anyway. Kelly's asking, is there someone close to Wanganui to run my bars? I would love to swap. I know that there definitely is, Kelly. Private message me on that and I will put you in touch with people. Absolutely. Laurie says, a lovely way to begin the year, Michelle. Nice to join with you all. Sending wishes for a wonderful year of choosing your own reality and making it even more wonderful. Woo-hoo! Yay! Thanks, Laurie. Mwah! I adore you. I'm so grateful you're in my life. And have you had your bars run lately? No. Energetic slap. No. What's working for you? Is it working for you not to have your bars run? What else? What else? No, it's not working. Who can show up for you to swap bars with? What else is possible? How far is it from Levin to Wanganui? Not too far? I can't hear you, Laurie.
No, sorry. Too far for me to drive at the moment, I'm afraid. I'd love to do it, but if things change, yes. Kelly, let me know how to contact you. Thank you.
Cool. So Kelly, yeah, I know that Laurie is in Levin, and if you're willing to drive that far, I know she'd love to swap. So, awesome. And you know, I'm gonna call it. I can talk for days, guys. Honestly, I do talk for days. That's what the foundation class is all about. As I say, I'm heading down to Wellington in a couple of weeks to do a foundation down there. Prerequisite for that is to have done a bars class at some time in your life. So if you want to come play, then check that out. I'm also doing foundation classes. There is an online global foundation happening with Gary and Dane beginning of February for those of you around the world. In Auckland, we have Christopher Hughes coming. Chrissy Shirley's doing one in Auckland at the beginning of February. Chris Hughes is doing one at the end of February. And these are just the ones I know from off my.
And you're doing Bali? I'm just looking at you. I'm looking at your schedule right now. So you're doing one at Bali.
Yes, I'm doing Bali end of March. I'm doing Tauranga middle of April. And I'm doing Nelson in beginning of May. And guys, I have classes coming up all the way through the year, and there are people all over the world who have classes available. So please check out accessconsciousness.com. There are facilitators all around the world who would love to contribute to creating your greater reality with you. And if you were creating your reality, what would you choose? Whose classes would you attend? You know, I always say to people, go onto the website. And for those of you that don't have your classes listed on the website, hint, I send people there. So if you are looking to choose a class, go to the Access Consciousness website and just get a sense of the facilitators that are available and look, oh, what classes is this person doing? Ask yourself and your body what you know. Because, you know, the target of Access is to empower you to know that you know. And you do know. You know whose classes will create greatest for you. And I've said that to somebody and they said, so why did I go to this class over here that was like, ah? And I was like, so what awareness did you get by attending that class? What change did you receive? And they're like, oh, that facilitator was weird, but I changed so much. It's like, yeah, well, that's the target. What is your target in life and living? That if you were to acknowledge that, you could have your reality show up. What else is possible, guys? What can you be, do, have, create, and generate today that will create the future you desire? Are you willing to choose it? Are you willing to be it? I'm so super grateful for you guys. And I will get the recording of this and all those links out to you really, really soon. It should be in the next 24 hours. So you can re-listen to this over and over again. Lots of tools, lots of questions, lots of clearings. And what else is possible? And would you like to join me tomorrow for another call? So we're going to start off tomorrow at 7:30 in the morning. It will be a live energy pool, and let's get this party started. What can you choose for 2020 that you haven't been willing to choose before? Oh, and the 28 days, it's only $50. So really, For $50, you can have me every day if you like. And all of those do have a recording as well. So if you can't make it at the time that they happen, they will be available. So come join it, come play. And what else can you choose that will create the reality that you desire? I adore you guys. Have fun, and I will see you all another day. What else is possible? Bye bye.